I want to welcome you to let's just start off by saying, please pay attention to our warning graphic. It says that the Retro Rogues live show is intended for an adult audience and not intended for children under the age of 13. Parental discretion is advised. A little off my game tonight. It's a little weird. You might hear my dogs barking on the back. The virus, as you will call it, has caused some unusual things happening in my household at the moment. Everyone is well. But I don't have anyone to wrangle my dogs tonight, so they may bark, they may make noise. We're just going to have to put up with that. I want to welcome you to the show. My name is Dave Beatty. For nearly the last 30 years, I've been a professional illustrator and graphic designer. Worked on a lot of fun things that some people have heard of, things such as Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes, X-Men, Sword of the Braddock's, Grifter, and my current love, which is my webcomic, Red Skirts. But enough about that. I want to welcome back my co-host. This is Mr. Eric Alexander. Eric, please tell the folks watching or listening at home some of the fun things that you have worked on as a creative professional.
Yes, hello everyone. I am Eric Alexander, also known as Bass God 14. That's Bass God 14, not Bass God 14. Bass God like a bass guitar. So I am the Chief Financial Officer of Bad Bob Productions, which is a small production company located in Arizona. I'm also the associate producer of the feature film Occupants, which is currently available on Tubi and stars Star Trek Voyager actor Robert Picardo.
Very cool. All right, so to start the show off tonight, we're going to do just some off the top, some house cleaning stuff here real quick. Last episode, I want to congratulate James, which actually goes by Yaz. He actually just said, hey guys, you actually won the RoboCop card. And I will be putting this in the mail actually with the other card that you won on a previous episode. I'm putting it over there right now. I've been having a tough time getting to the post office with everything that's going on. However, hopefully that will be happening this weekend, and I'll be going in the mail to you. So congratulations. Again, you won the RoboCop sketch card from last show. And this will be the card we're going to do tonight. Eric and I talked about we're going to do the Punisher card this evening. So again, this is an original hand-drawn art sketch card on our official Retro Rogues card stock. So we'll be doing the Punisher this evening. So please comment during the show. It doesn't matter when you comment. Doesn't matter what you comment on. At any point, just please register a comment, and then we basically take your name, enter you into a drawing to possibly win an original art sketch card. So tonight we are doing the Punisher sketch card. This is original art by me. And sorry, again, you're going to have to put up with my dogs tonight. So again, all you need to do is just register a comment. The only major rules is please be above the age of 18. And number 2, please live in the United States because it makes it easier for me on shipping. All right. Very cool. Frank Castle goodness indeed. All right. So we're going to start off here. If Eric wouldn't mind sharing my screen, we're going to do some stuff just here off the top real quick. And then we'll get into our first main topic. All right. So for those of you who know, who've been following the show for any amount of time, I have been talking a lot about this magazine, this fanzine that we're working on. I am here to announce to you that it will be coming out very, very soon. This is a digital publication. You can receive it for free. We're going to have some more information about how to actually get it coming up here. Probably, if not this week, probably next week, we'll be hopefully have it officially out and you'll be able to get it at that time. This is the cover. It is not necessarily final just yet. However, it's going to be pretty close to this. This shows some of the things that we've got going on here. Of course, our content creator profile on PJ from Orville Nation, who's our main feature. Then we have some stories contributed by Ed Harris. We have some art contributed by James Stone. Of course, something I did. My friend the Janimal, who actually used to be the co-host of the Retro Retrospective show. Some people might remember that show. And again, well, also too, we have a artist spotlight on Benjamin Glendenning. He has sent in some amazing sketch card artwork from some of the sets and the things that he's worked on. And then we also have a feature here on Moon Knight called Moon Knight Rising. And I actually have prepared for you. I'm just going to show you just a brief preview. So this is kind of a rough example of what you can expect This is original art that was contributed to the magazine by James Stone. And I actually inked and colored this particular piece, but it is part of our feature called Moon Knight Rising. And it's actually a 4-page story all about Moon Knight, kind of delving further into the character, as well as some recommended reading by myself. I don't want to get too far into it because I don't want to spoil it, because I'm really hoping that people will read the digital magazine and enjoy it. So again, this is just an example of what you can expect from the digital magazine, and that will be coming out very, very soon. It's either going to be, like I said, more than likely it will be probably next week. That's my hope. That's my hope. I'm waiting on a few other contributors to get some stuff in. And once that happens, we'll be ready to roll this out. That there's going to be articles in here on collecting original comic art. There's all kinds of interesting reviews and retrospective stuff on comic books, tons of original art, all kinds of new content, comic strips. There's going to be a new, actually, adventure comic strip feature by me that will be in this magazine, and I'm working with some other people. I don't think we're going to have time to get these other ones in because I want to get this first issue out. But in the next one, we'll have additional more original comic features available only in the digital publication. So I just want to put that out there. Please just check out davebeatty.com. We'll have further announcements on my website, as well as talking about it, obviously, here on the show. We'll have links and stuff like that where people will be able to download it. Those of you subscribe to the email newsletter, you'll actually just have it sent directly to you. You won't have to do anything. It'll just show up in your inbox, and you'll be able to enjoy it. So just wanted to talk about the digital magazine, the fanzine. We're going to call it the Retro Rogues fanzine. The first edition will hopefully be out very soon. So thank everyone for
I
support.
just want to say to everybody that as the co-publisher on this project, I get to see all the wonderful stuff that Dave is putting together, and it's awesome. So you folks are really in for a treat. There's a lot of good stuff that's going to be in this issue, and hopefully in subsequent issues, because we plan to do this quarterly. So again, remember to go to Dave's website there. That's sort of the central hub for everything Retro Rogues, is on www.davebeatty.com, as you can see in the banner below. And again, this is free, guys. This is awesome content for free for our fans, for our listeners, for our viewers. And I just want to say, Dave, I think you've done a fantastic job. I think this is going to be a lot of fun.
Well, very cool. And I appreciate your help and support. Eric, this is something I pitched you to a while ago, and you thought it'd be cool. And you've helped actually kind of direct and curate some of the content that's going into the fanzine. And I think people are really going to like it. And of course, we've got some exciting things coming up, because we're not just going to only profile comic book creators necessarily and comic artists, but we're also going to be talking to people who do, hopefully, makeup effects. Of course, PJ, who does amazing stuff on YouTube with Orville Nation. So you've been helping line up some really interesting people for us to interview and talk to for the fanzine. And I really, really honestly I think people are really going to enjoy this. It's going to help you kind of maybe learn about things that maybe you're not too terribly familiar with, get further into things that you already like. And it's going to be interesting, because it'll be stuff that'll be topical and current, but it's stuff that'll be retro at the same time, very much like the show. So I definitely encourage people and tell everybody, get excited, because it'll be coming out really soon. My original adventure comic strip that I'm contributing for this, I think people are going to be shocked when they see what it is. I think the only person who's really seen anything yet is Eric, and I forget what your response was at like 1 a.m. when I sent it to you, but I think people are going to be a little shocked when they see what the adventure comic strip feature in this is going to be. If you followed my career, you're going to want to read this one. So,
well, it always sounds cliche, but there truly is going to be something for everyone in this fanzine. So, folks, again, you're in for a real treat. And again, this is going to be free content.
Yeah,
and you can't beat that.
Totally free. And the idea is to have it be somewhere between Wizard Magazine and Starlog, and that's the goal. Is have something, because none of those things exist anymore. I was talking with a friend of mine who's actually contributing some actual little comic, little gag panel cartoon stuff for it, the Janimal. I was talking to him actually a couple of days ago, and we were talking about it. I said, nothing exists like this anymore. Wizard Magazine folded many years ago. Of course, Starlog's been gone for a very, very long time. comic shop news that used to be like a newspaper. Pretty much everything's just turned into websites, which is nice, but there's so many of them, and it doesn't feel special anymore. I don't know what it
No.
is, but the thing that'll be really cool about this is going to be a magazine format. You're going to be able to look at it on your tablet or on your computer and flip through the pages, and I think people will have a lot of fun with it. So anyhow,
and my friend Portronics Film Productions, he's saying that he's really looking forward to it. That's actually my friend Matt. He's my director of photography. And Matt, thanks for coming on the show. We really appreciate that. In fact, one of these days, we need to actually have you formally on the show as a guest and talk about all the fun things that you're doing, not only for Bad Bob, but as for Portronics as well. So he's a local filmmaker, and he's a fantastic cinematographer. But yeah, we'll definitely get one out to you, Matt. There's no doubt about that. And check out Portronics Film Productions. He does have a YouTube site, and he does have some of his film work posted on there. If anybody's interested in that, he is a content creator as well.
Very cool, very cool. Thank you for commenting, and we're going to throw your name into the hat here to possibly win the original art sketch card. And but I'm very excited about this digital magazine, this Retro Rogues fanzine. It's been a lot of fun to put together. I've been surprised by how all of it has been kind of shaping kind of organically. It's totally fan driven. There's pieces in here about things we love and things that we hope that you will like if you're not familiar with, or things that we hope that you will also love. However, this is by fans for fans, but it's done in a very slick, professional manner. And I think people will be really surprised once we get it all done. But it's more than halfway done, everybody. I mean, I'm just putting some finishing touches on a few things. We've got another read through, and I've got a few things I'm waiting on, and then we're ready to go. So very excited for everyone to check this out. So awesome. So Eric, if that's good for that, are we ready to get into our first main topic for this evening?
Yeah, I think we got to do it. People want it, right? So we've got to do it.
Yeah. All right, everybody. All right, Rogues Gallery. I hope you're all out there paying attention. I hope you're out there getting ready to comment. We're going to be talking about one of the craziest friggin' things I think I've seen. All right, so when we do the warning graphic at the beginning of the show, I always talk about that we may drink some adult beverages, we may curse, however, normally it doesn't happen. Often it kind of does here lately. So if anyone has any expletive, deleted words that come out during the midst of this, it makes total sense because, let's be honest, we're talking about Tiger King on Netflix, but we all know who to blame. And of course, that is going to be Carol Baskins. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get into this. So tell me, Eric, I don't see where we have to avoid spoilers with this, because the whole point of this is the insanity. I mean, should we try and talk about this in a spoiler-free overview to start off with, like we normally do, or just go into it?
Well, I think it's always good to talk about just general impressions, at the beginning.
Okay.
At the top of our reviews here. So, right.
I
would ask you, what were your general impressions from the first episode of Tiger King?
What are my general impressions? Initially, watching it, all I could think of is I feel like I knew people like this when I was growing up in the South. Number one.
Really?
Okay. Not people who own wild cats necessarily like this guy did, but just the general nature of it. It just felt like, I feel like I've known some of these people, or people like them. Okay. Most of my friends don't qualify for this category, but there's, people you've run into, when you're at a 7-Eleven on the, wrong side of town or something. So I feel like that I've seen and come across and bumped into people over the course of my life growing up in the South that were reminiscent of that. That was my initial impression. And then I was just kind of at times shocked and horrified by some of the stuff I was seeing and hearing. And I just couldn't believe just all the nonsense that was going on between these people who apparently how would you? It's not like they collect wildcats, but I don't know. I guess that's my thing. All I could think of, my initial impression was, I feel like I've run into and met people who were like this, number one, which isn't a good thing. And then number two, my second thing is I kept thinking that this is completely insane. And at times it made me kind of angry. So tell me, Eric, what were your initial impressions of the Tiger King on Netflix?
I thought it was interesting. I mean, they definitely set the stage pretty well in the first episode with all these different characters. There seems like obviously there's three main characters that actually own their own parks and sort of have different styles of how they run their parks. And obviously, the Tiger King, if you will, himself, the one that we have pictured here, his style, I guess, is very much kind of like I don't know, for lack of a better term, almost like a circus kind of environment. And then you have a lady that's more into like sort of the, I don't know, touchy-feely kind of more of a Greenpeace kind of sanctuary kind of environment. And then you have another guy that's kind of just out there and he's doing his own thing and he kind of has his own way as well, you know. And then you have all these other sort of side characters that apparently were involved with either of these three individuals, you know, helping them with their little empires, if you will, their various parks. And they're kind of commenting and they're coming from different angles. Some of them are supporting one side or the other because obviously there's a huge rivalry between the lady that does sort of the more sanctuary type and then the Tiger King here who's more of a showman, I would say, more of a, like I said, a circus wrangler type. So it's pretty interesting, like the cast of characters and everything like that. I'm like seeing the different perspectives and everything and their different styles. I thought they actually set it up very well in the first episode that you have all these kind of weird characters, you know what I mean, coming from different angles on this whole feud that we can see is going to develop.
Yeah, it definitely had its own unique cast of characters. It was, I don't know. I mean, I like to watch a lot of documentaries and different things on Netflix anyway. But I don't think I've seen anything that was this just crazy. And I could see where you know, people got sucked into it because by the time that you think you've kind of got a handle on what's going on here, the craziest thing in the world will happen. And you're just like, that can't be real. You know, and then you go into the next episode and it's like, oh, that happened for real. There was a lot of fact checking going on the phone, you know, to make sure. I was like, no, come on, no way that really happened. Oh yeah, it really happened. And this thing has something for everyone as well, I think. I'm still on the fence on whether or not I would recommend anyone watch it necessarily. I think most people probably have by now, but this thing was pretty nuts. So is that good, Eric? Do you want to go ahead and start talking spoilers at this time?
Sure, you can get into whatever you want. I'll put up the little spoiler warning for everybody.
All right,
and
very cool.
Feel free to talk about. Get that banner up. We always want to warn people when we start getting sort of our deep dive discussions, and I want to ruin the show for you.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the Tiger King.
It says Honey Boo Boo time.
Honey Boo Boo time.
Come on down to the Piggly Wiggly.
Oh man, yes. All right. So we're going to talk about the Tiger King in a totally spoilerific manner. So wow, this thing has just some absolutely batshit crazy stuff that happened in it. Whether you want to talk about the trainer that got his arm like basically taken off from the lion or the tiger, whatever it was, whether you want to talk about this particular individual's crazy love life that doesn't make any sense, where you want to talk about all these random, unusual people that he had surrounding him. And then when you start looking at some of the other people, like Carol Baskins, who's who's running sort of like a, I mean, they describe it as a rescue for big cats, you know, for tigers and lions and such, and these exotic
that's the way
animals.
she describes it. That's the way she
Right.
describes it.